Let's get down to business. This week, the Trump administration held public hearings on its latest round of proposed tariffs. That could be as high as 12.5%. Why? It comes as a new report from the New York Federal Reserve finds that nearly half of the companies in its region paying tariffs are planning to raise more prices. Joining me now to discuss, my dear old friend Bill Cohen, founding partner at Puck and a former Wall Street banker, and someone you absolutely should be following. He is a smarty pants. Scott Lincicome, Vice President of General Economics at the Cato Institute. Scott, these new tariffs the administration is considering are the president's attempt to make up for what he lost after the Supreme Court struck down his original ones. What's going to happen here?
Well, I think it's all but certain that those tariffs are going to go into place because Secretary Bessent and Donald Trump himself and others have already said that the tariffs are going to go into place. And while that's legally questionable, I think as a simple economic matter, we should expect those tariffs to hit in July when the temporary tariffs that they already imposed back in February to replace the emergency tariffs, when those expire, we'll get these other tariffs.
Why does this make sense, Bill, right? Our focus over the last few weeks have been on gas prices because of the war in Iran. Now those prices are going back up. Now you're going to bring tariffs back in the game. Affordability is the number one issue for a lion's share of the American voting public. Why are we doing this?
Stephanie, you're asking me why we're doing something that is absolutely ridiculous and stupid economically? I can't answer that. Stephanie, I can tell you that the Supreme Court struck down his tariffs the first time around. I can tell you that tariffs are a tax on the American consumer and not a small one. I can tell you that they are hurting people in their pocketbooks, especially at places like Walmart, where many people shop, where many of the goods that are sold are imported foreign goods. I don't understand it. I don't understand the philosophy. I never have. I don't think it's wise economics. It's not wise politics. And yet the guy just keeps doubling and tripling down on everything. So, no, I can't answer that, Stephanie.
Okay, but despite all of this, though, markets continue to soar. It's largely driven by AI. What is your take, Scott, on sort of this bifurcation, right? We always say the markets are different from the economy, but this time seems really different. It almost seems like the markets are divorced from a lion's share of the economic reality.
Yeah, well, you first have to start with the macro and remember that for all the problems these tariffs raise, the United States is a services economy. Trade as a share of our overall economic output is some of the lowest in the world. So you can do a lot of damage on tariffs, and that'll hurt companies and consumers, but it won't dramatically affect the kind of macro picture. But the other thing is that, like you mentioned, AI is this massive tailwind for economic growth and for markets, and importantly, everything you need to build a data center or to power AI is exempt from all of these tariffs. So it's a dirty little secret of the Trump tariff regime is that today what's powering the economy is doing so through free trade, not because of tariffs.
This is a good point. At the same time, there's this new report out there. Notice has a story that the Treasury Department has a draft report that is warning about a possible AI bubble very similar to the dot-com bubble that took place in the early 2000s. But this time, AI is even more embedded in the economy. It's even more tied to our government at this point. How much worry should we have, Bill?
Look, I mean, Stephanie, we've seen this before. We saw it with the Internet 1.0. We saw it with the emerging telecom companies that built the infrastructure to power the Internet, all of which companies, by the way, you'll remember, went bankrupt. And of course, the interesting thing is, of course, we still use that infrastructure, and it's important infrastructure. So I suspect, as others have said, that something like that will happen again. The valuations for these AI companies are astronomical and way too high. And, you can see it to some extent in SpaceX, which, no pun, is coming back to Earth a little bit after a huge hype fest. And so I think that the infrastructure that's being built is very important and will end up being useful. But what are the companies going to look like that are building this infrastructure? And are some of them going to go bankrupt, and are investors going to get end up with the short end of the stick here?
Could the market be ahead of itself? All right, one more topic before you gentlemen go. Scott, Trump just a couple of moments ago on social media renewed the same sentiment, saying he will not sign the bipartisan affordable housing bill. That doesn't stop it from becoming law. At midnight, home prices are at an all-time high. We've got a viewer question on this. Jared from Wisconsin is asking us, what does the housing bill do for a current homeowner? I feel like this thing was not promoted very well.
Well, for a current homeowner, I don't really think there's that much in there. What this is really about is freeing up construction of new homes, making it easier to build, for example, manufactured housing. There's some stuff in there on housing subsidies and the rest, but that's mainly for home buyers, not for home owners. So, you know, I like the stuff on manufactured housing. I think there's some other stuff in there that's a little questionable, but I really don't see much effect. I don't think you're going to wake up next week and suddenly your mortgage is going to be a little better or something like that.